Hey everyone, it's Taylor Lewis of the Pulmonary Performance Institute. Today I wanted to kind of talk about what should be in your workouts. Once again, everyone's going to be different, so it's all going to depend on the person. It could depend on if you're a novice, lifter or trainer, all the way to advanced. It also depends on your goals. But everyone should have some general stuff in their program. What that should include is there should be a warm-up. There should be some form of strength training, there should be some form of cardiovascular training, and there should be some form of cool down. Now, all of those things look differently depending on what your goals are. So someone with a strength training component that's focusing on improving or increasing muscle mass and stuff like that, warm-up's always going to be the number one thing because you want to get the body going. But then they're going to be focusing on really building muscle, so there's going to be a lot of emphasis on the strength training component. And then depending on what their goals are from a cardiovascular standpoint, it may just be walking versus running on a treadmill, or hiking outside versus trying to really do high intensity interval training. And then you always want to start or finish with a cool down, because once again you want to kind of down regulate the body. Now, someone that's trying to improve endurance, come from a cardiovascular standpoint, this could be, once again, you start with the warm-up. You do want strength training because, once again, your muscles, as they get stronger, they move your joints, and it makes the cardiovascular component, especially when you're doing endurance training, a little bit easier because you're stronger. Plus, strength training helps improve bone mineral density. So once again, you get your bones stronger, everything's going to improve overall. But then you may have a little bit more emphasis on the cardiovascular component. You may be wanting to dial up a little bit of high intensity training and stuff like that, and then or some longer duration walks or cycling on the bike. But the big overall picture here is you want to make sure you have a combination of everything. You want to make sure that you do a proper warm-up in the beginning of your workouts, anywhere from 5 to 15 minutes, focusing on full body exercises to kind of get the tissue ready, warm, get the heart beating, get the lungs going. And then you want to focus on your goal first. So if it's strength training, you should ideally focus on strength training first, because once again, you only have so much time and energy when you're in the gym or at home, and the more energy you expend, that less energy you could spend on strength training down the road. So always think about possibly strength training in the beginning, even if it's just a little bit. Then you go into your cardiovascular component there. So if you're like, I want to improve my anaerobic capacity or my ability to kind of regenerate fast, then you're going to do some high intensity work. And then always finish with that cool down, whether that's just doing some static stretching, some breathing. Ideally, you want to have some form of breathing in there because your respiratory system helps down regulate your body. So thinking about that, make sure that you have your warm-up, some form of strength training in there, some form of cardiovascular training. Once again, they don't have to all be, the strength training and the cardiovascular training don't have to necessarily be in the same workout. You want to always have a warm-up. You want to do either strength training, cardiovascular training, or if you only work out 2 days a week, both of them. And then you always want that cool down. So that's the thing with programming there, is everyone's program is going to be a little bit different. So, but the key is to have those things in there because it allows the body to work on strength, improving endurance, improving flexibility, and also improving the ability to upregulate the system to a stressful state, be able to downregulate the system into less of a stressful state, and be able to regulate that, because that's kind of how life is. There's times throughout the day where you're going to be stressed, and you want to be able to have the capacity to kind of downregulate that a little bit, so then you can conserve energy and use it when needed. So use those things when you're thinking about your workouts and where somewhere you could potentially improve your performance if you're missing one of those gaps.